Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio discusses Gaza truce with the Israel PM Netanyahu on first leg of West Asia tour. World leaders to discuss rising geopolitical challenges on third and final day of Munich Security Conference 2025. Panic, fear grip Bukavu after M23 rebels enter city outskirts. Congo PM Sumenva demands withdrawal of Rwandan troops from Congolese territory. And India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar holds wide-ranging discussions with his Omani counterpart Badr al-Busaidi, including trade, investment and energy security. Praises him for hosting the 8th Indian Ocean Conference. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio met Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem on Sunday to discuss the Gaza ceasefire, kicking off his West Asia tour just a day after the latest hostage prisoner exchange. On his first visit to West Asia as Washington's top diplomat, Rubio is expected to push President Donald Trump's proposal to take control of Gaza and relocate its over 2 million residents. Separately, Rubio is also set to meet Israeli President Isaac Herzog in Jerusalem and to visit Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates as part of his tour. US President Donald Trump's envoy for Ukraine, Keith Kellogg, stated that on Sunday that Europe will not be a part of Ukraine peace talks as Washington reached out to European capitals with a questionnaire on their potential contributions to Kiev's security guarantees. Kellogg was speaking at the Munich Security Conference on Sunday.
But our philosophy is not to continue this war to the death of every last Ukrainian. The intent is to stop the carnage, stop the war, make sure it's reasonable, making sure the sovereignty stays intact. But we're going to get to specifics about it. When you say sitting at the table, in all probability, there's really going to be, one of the reasons I'm here is for the input, obviously. But when you sit at the table, there's two protagonists when you look at it, and there's one, hopefully, to be an intermediary.
Kellogg's remarks came as world leaders gathered for the third and final day of the Munich Security Conference on Sunday, following 2 days of intense discussions on Ukraine and Europe's security landscape. Day 2 of the conference wrapped up on Saturday after a series of unexpected speeches and strong reactions to evolving geopolitical challenges. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky made a direct appeal to European leaders, urging them to act in their own interests amid growing concerns over US support for Russia.
Without Ukraine's army, Europe's armies will not be enough to stop Russia. It's reality for today. Only our army in Europe has real, modern battlefield experience. But our army alone is not enough too. And we need what you can provide: weapons, training, sanctions, financing, political pressure, and unity.
Meanwhile, on the sidelines of the summit, US Vice President J.D. Vance criticized European leaders, accusing them of suppressing free speech.
Worry the most about vis-a-vis Europe is not Russia, it's not China, it's not any other external actor. And what I worry about is the threat from within, the retreat of Europe from some of its most fundamental values, values shared with the United States of America. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
European leaders rebuked Vance and defended Europe's stance on hate speech and far right.
Accepted if outsiders intervene in our democracy, in our elections, and in the democratic formation of opinion in favor of this party. That's just not done, certainly not amongst friends and allies. We resolutely reject this.
Ukrainian President Zelensky met Swedish PM Ulf Kristersson and Finnish President Alexander Stubb at Munich Security Conference. Stubb pledged continued support for Ukraine ahead of peace talks with Russia, emphasizing the need for political, financial and military aid. Zelensky stressed Ukraine's need for security guarantees.
It does not protect us. It is not yet ready to protect us, our interests. For me, it is very important to talk about investments. And in Ukraine, these are investments. And this should be stated legally in a proper and correct way. And this is an investment, and you can think about how to distribute profit from it. If it is all connected with security guarantees, you know, I have not seen this connection in the document.
European leaders will hold an emergency summit on Ukraine. The summit will be held in Paris on Monday. Polish Foreign Minister Radoslaw Sikorski said French President Emmanuel Macron had called the summit of European leaders to discuss Ukraine crisis. The move comes after Donald Trump's special envoy to Ukraine said European leaders would be consulted but not take part in any talks between US and Russia or ending the conflict. Separately, the EU's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, called a meeting of foreign ministers from the bloc at the Munich Security Conference for Sunday morning. The meeting would take stock of the latest contacts with US and Ukraine officials. Meanwhile, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will be discussing European leaders' views with US President Trump during his visit to the White House. A follow-up meeting with European leaders and Zelensky is also expected afterward. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy emphasized that Europe must increase defense spending as Russian President Vladimir Putin remains a threat even in the event of negotiated peace. Senior officials including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, White House National Security Advisor Mike Waltz and Middle East negotiator Steve Witkoff will attend peace talks between Russian and Ukrainian negotiators that will be held by the US in Saudi Arabia. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio discussed the situation in Ukraine on Saturday, as well as the removal of unilateral barriers set by previous US administration. Rubio reaffirmed the US commitment to ending the conflict in a call with Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov. Rubio's visit to Saudi Arabia is part of his West Asia tour, which began with his arrival in Israel. The talks in Saudi Arabia aim to arrange a meeting between Trump, Putin and Zelensky to secure peace in Ukraine. This development follows Trump's conversation with Putin, where they agreed to start ceasefire talks. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanked US President Donald Trump on Saturday for his full support in Gaza following the completion of the 6th hostage prisoner exchange. Netanyahu's office in a statement said that Israeli PM appreciates President Trump's full support for Israel's decisions regarding the Gaza Strip and future developments. The statement further said that President Trump's firm stance led to the release of 3 of hostages on Saturday, despite Hamas previously refusing to release them. The statement came after Trump posted on social media that Israel should choose how to respond to the successful conclusion of the latest swap. Hamas on Saturday freed 3 Israeli hostages held in Gaza in exchange of 369 Palestinian prisoners in the 6th swap of a nearly month-old ceasefire. Israel's defense ministry said on Sunday that a shipment of heavy US-made bombs arrived in Israel overnight. In a statement, Defense Minister Israel Katz stated that this munitions shipment released by Trump administration is a significant asset for Israeli Air Force and military, highlighting the strong alliance between Israel and the United States. The Trump administration had approved the sale of more than $7.4 billion in bombs, missiles and related equipment to Israel earlier in February. Thousands of protesters in the Serbian city of Kragujevac made a sea of lights with their phones on Sunday to seek justice for train station victims. The protest, which erupted in the wake of the tragic collapse at a newly renovated railway station on November 1st, is being fueled by widespread anger and frustration over the loss of 15 lives. The situation remains volatile, with protesters demanding concrete actions. The demonstrations have grown into the biggest threat yet to President Vucic's decade-long grip on power. In the tense situation, the president of Serbia, Vucic, said the protesters' goal was to bring down Serbia, adding that they were backed by unspecified Western countries.
Nismo se mi ovdje skupili.
But the goal of those outside who organized all against Serbia is not to overthrow Vucic and install someone else. The goal is to bring down Serbia. The goal is to bring down Serbia because they don't want Serbia to be economically prosperous. They want Serbia to be weak in the region. They don't want Serbia to be capable and allowed to help Republic of Srpska. They want a Serbia that will kneel and apologize for the crimes committed against its own people.
Zato što znamo da je spolja napadnuta.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro presented a constitutional reform proposal to National Assembly on Saturday. In a speech in a parliamentary chamber, Maduro said the reform he proposes would focus on 4 major issues, one of the main ones being the inclusion of so-called communal power in addition to the existing municipal, state and national powers. Maduro, who began a third 6-year term on January 10th, further said he seeks to rebuild and expand democracy in the country. The current constitution was approved in 1999, promoted by the late President Hugo Chavez.
We are ready to open the gates to a great and edifying, unifying national debate and let the Venezuelan society and our people lead a great historic reform that will adapt the 1999 constitution to new times with new ideas for advancement in a new era of transition to a new modernity.
A la nueva modernidad.
Let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Several dozen of migrants who have been occupying Paris's Gaîté Lyrique Theatre since early December staged a demonstration against the authorities. This comes after the Paris Administrative Court ordered their evacuation from the theatre within a month. The city of Malaga in southern Spain has decided to put an end to horse-drawn carriages for tourists due to animal welfare reasons. However, several horse-drawn carriage drivers oppose this measure in the city. Hundreds of Rio de Janeiro residents celebrated the 38th edition of Imprensa que o Gamo block party, in fact, and roughly translated to press that I fall in love with in English. Amid the scorching heat, revelers dressed in various colorful costumes celebrated the Carnival street party. And still to come on DD India Newshour. At least 48 people were killed in collapse of an illegally operated gold mine in western Mali. Stay tuned to know more about this. Torrential rain triggered flash floods across parts of southern U.S. states of Kentucky and Tennessee.
Aero India, state of the art, we forge our relationship beyond buyer and seller relationship.
Most important, the joint action plan signed by Prime Minister Meloni and Prime Minister Modi, which has specific focus on defense, collaboration and cooperation.
Aero India, runway to billion opportunities, also provides a stage to forge international alliances to fast-track India's indigenization process in the defense sector.
You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Updates on the Congo crisis now. Chaos unfolded in the eastern Congo city of Bukavu, with eyewitness footage showing Rwandan-backed M23 rebels in the center of the city on Sunday. A spokesperson for the militia confirmed their presence to a news agency on Sunday. The armed group had been advancing toward the capital of South Kivu province since seizing the city of Goma in late January. The fall of Bukavu would represent the most significant expansion of territory under M23's control since the latest insurgency began in 2022. Meanwhile, Congolese Prime Minister Judith Suminwa on Saturday demanded the withdrawal of Rwandan troops from Congolese territory. Talking to Reuters news agency, Suminwa said Congo is an independent country and we must protect the integrity of our territory. Meanwhile, UN Chief Antonio Guterres called that Congo's territorial integrity be respected and a regional war avoided at an African summit in Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa. Asking for a dialogue, Guterres stated that at the summit, that deadlock must end between M23 fighters, Rwandan forces and the DRC.
That is raging in South Kivu as a result of the continuation of the M23 offensive threatens to push the entire region over the precipice. Regional escalation must be avoided at all costs. There is no military solution. The deadlock must end, the dialogue must begin, and the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the DRC must be respected.
At least 48 people were killed in the collapse of an illegally operated gold mine in western Mali on Saturday. Mali is one of Africa's leading gold producers, and mining sites are regularly the scene of deadly landslides and accidents. Authorities have struggled to control unregulated mining of the precious metal in the country, which is among the world's poorest. A local official confirmed the cave-in, while the Kanyeba Coal Miners Association also put the death toll at 48. The search for victims was ongoing. In January, a landslide at a gold mine in southern Mali killed at least 10 people and left many others missing, most of them women. Just over a year ago, a tunnel collapsed at a gold mining site in the same region as Saturday's landslide, killing more than 70 people. Now, a massive storm system is pounding the south and eastern parts of the United States with heavy rainfall, flash flooding, severe weather, freezing rain and snow. Severe storms are erupting amid ongoing flash flood emergencies in places like Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky and Virginia, while more than 128 million people are under winter weather alerts. Tornado and flash flood warnings have been issued. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear declared a state of emergency as storms swept the lower Mississippi Valley. Former Mauritius Prime Minister Pravind Jugnauth was arrested on Sunday in connection with a money laundering investigation. The country's Financial Crimes Commission had earlier issued a notice instructing police to detain Jugnauth and two other suspects if they attempted to leave the country, citing an ongoing probe into financial misconduct. The final draft of the Budget 2025 was presented for the review of President Anurag Kumar Dissanayake today at Presidential Secretariat. The budget speech will be presented on Monday by President Dissanayake in his capacity as the Finance Minister. Industry experts expect a populist approach in the NPP government's first budget as the debt-stricken nation still faces severe and, in fact, several challenges. At the same time, the government will have to adhere to Public Finance Management Act, under which the primary expenditure needs to be kept under 13% of the GDP. India is weaving its way into the future of global textiles with the Bharat Tex 2025, one of the world's largest textile exhibitions, taking place in New Delhi. With sustainability at its core, this mega event is bringing together global leaders, innovators and industry giants to shape the future of textiles. Akshay Dongre reports.
From raw materials to high-end fashion, Bharat Tex 2025 is a grand showcase of India's textile industry. But beyond business, the central focus here is sustainability. reshaping the global textile trade with eco-friendly innovations and responsible sourcing.
We want to demonstrate to the world that India is not just a textile leader, it has the capacity to produce at scale and sustainability, and it's a reliable partner. We have visitors from 120 countries. We have every top country in India exhibiting here. And our theme this year is Innovation Meets Responsibility.
With over 5,000 exhibitors and participation from more than 120 countries, Bharat Tex 2025 is a melting pot of ideas and trade. The event, organized by a consortium of 12 textile export promotion councils and backed by the Ministry of Textiles, spans from fiber production to fashion, home furnishings, and cutting-edge technical textiles.
As a student, I am getting exposure with a lot of Indian brands, getting to know, and as a fashion student, I am getting to know like internships where I have to do, like what type of like people I am getting to interact like with a lot of type people from different backgrounds, and it's really interesting.
We get more exposure here and how we are going to do in industry, and here every brand is different. They are showcasing themselves.
This year's theme, Resilient Global Value Chains and Textile Sustainability, is driving conversations across 70 conference sessions, CEO roundtables, and B2B meetings. Innovations in eco-friendly dyes, biodegradable fabrics, and energy-efficient manufacturing are taking center stage.
Textile industry has a big role to play. The industry in itself harps on future. So whatever we are producing today has to be sustainable for the future. And we are looking for something which is clean, which is fair traded, which is organic. And for this, we are making all the efforts because we have the control from the farm to the customer.
Blending tradition with innovation, Bharat Tex 2025 also highlights India's rich textile heritage. Fashion shows, trend forecasts, and product launches showcase the industry's evolution while staying rooted in craftsmanship. As the world moves towards responsible fashion and sustainable textiles, Bharat Tex 2025 is proving that India is not just keeping up, but leading the way. Akshay Dongre's report for DD India.
A cancer awareness walkathon was organized by Can Support in New Delhi on Sunday. The event included a 3-kilometer walk along with a 5-kilometer run held for the first time, where people of all age groups turned out in large numbers to spread awareness about cancer in India. Take a look at the next report.
Can Support organized the biggest cancer awareness walkathon in New Delhi on Sunday to sensitize the community about the rising incidences of cancer. People from all walks of life and different age groups walked at the event to show that they care. Speaking at the event, Honorary Secretary of Can Support Radhika Shapurji said friends and family support is the most essential thing for cancer patients and survivors.
We need more love and compassion. Please love your families, your children. They need that. They need the hug. They need the kind words. Those are the healing touches that will be far more, will fight cancer far more than any medicine that can.
The event is not only a hallmark at spreading awareness about the early treatment of cancer, but to also remove the stigmas associated with it. The brain behind Walk for Life walkathon, which started in 2008, Jeannie Mulford, who has been a survivor of breast cancer herself, said diagnosing cancer at its earliest stages provides the best chance for a cure.
Being a breast cancer survivor myself, I said the very best part was what I've learned. And I learned not to be afraid. And I learned also how strong I could be.
Various cancer survivors who have faced the challenging journey of battling cancer and have emerged stronger on the other side were also present at the event.
Actually, I'm blessed. I just say thank you, cancer, because I feel that I could change the direction of my life. I started to handhold cancer patients. And that's what has actually kept me going.
These individuals carry with them a story of courage, strength, and the unwavering will to live. The resilience, hope, and the determination of these cancer survivors is an inspiration for a million others. They are a living proof that survival is possible even in the most difficult of circumstances. With camera person Naveen, this is Priya Yadav for DD India.
India's Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia led Fit India Sundays on Cycle event in Mumbai on Sunday. Union Minister joined a group of riders taking forward the theme of Fight Obesity. The cycling drive in Mumbai took place from Gateway of India to Girgaon Chowpatty. Over 500 people participated in the event, including doctors, nutritionists, students and social activists, to spread awareness about dangers of obesity.
फिट इंडिया के मूवमेंट को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए संडे ऑन साइकिल सारे देश में आयोजित हो रही है। साइकिलिंग एक पोल्यूशन का सॉल्यूशन है, फिट रहने का मंत्र है, स्वास्थ्य का सूत्र है और इसलिए चलो हम सब देशवासी अपने स्वयं को फिट रखने के लिए संडे 1 घंटे के लिए साइकिलिंग करके फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट को आगे बढ़ाएं।
And still to come on DD India Newshour. President Draupadi Murmu witnesses the change of guard ceremony in new format. We'll tell you about the latest episode of Pariksha Pe Charcha. The artists' edition brought together Indian actors Vikrant Massey and Bhumi Pednekar. And External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar addresses inaugural session of 8th Indian Ocean Conference on our voyage to new horizons of maritime partnership.
Prasar Bharati, in collaboration with IIT Delhi and Software Technology Parks of India, is organizing the DD Robocon 2025 this year as well. In this National Robotics Championship, engineering students will get ample opportunities to showcase their ingenuity and potential. The national selection for this championship will be held on the 12th and 13th of July, and the winning team will get an opportunity to participate in the International ABU Robocon Championship to be held in Mongolia in August this year. So, hurry up! The last date of registration is the 16th of February. For more information, log on to www.ddrobocon.iitd.ac.in.
Goa, a food paradise, both steeped in historical culinary tradition and at the forefront of a modern-day food revolution that is fresher, more local, and more global than ever before. I'm embarking on a journey across the state to explore the very best of food here.
This is honestly my favorite way to eat an egg.
Break bread with some of Goa's most loved chefs and understand what food really means to communities here. Watch postcards from Goa on National Geographic.
Kolkata, the city of joy, the capital of the eastern state of West Bengal in India, has long been one of the leading metro cities and cultural centers of the nation.
You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and a quick recap of headlines. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio discusses Gaza truce with Israel PM Netanyahu on first leg of West Asia tour. World leaders to discuss rising geopolitical challenges on third and final day of Munich Security Conference 2025. Panic, fear grip Bukavu after M23 rebels enter city outskirts. Congo PM Sumenwa demands withdrawal of Rwandan troops from Congolese territory. The inaugural show of change of guard ceremony in a new format was held at the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan. President Draupadi Murmu witnessed the inaugural show of the ceremony, which will take place every Saturday. Change of guard ceremony will be open to a larger number of visitors from February 22nd. People can now witness the impressive ceremony with the backdrop of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Military drills by troops and horses of President's bodyguard and troops of Ceremonial Guard Battalion along with ceremonial military brass band spread over a larger area will be part of the new format. Bookings can be made on official website of Rashtrapati Bhavan. The latest episode of Pariksha Pe Charcha, the artists edition, brought together Indian actors Vikrant Massey and Bhumi Pednekar on Sunday. The actors shared valuable insights on building focus and memory. Both Pednekar and Massey also shared tips on boosting focus, improving memory and staying positive during exams. Vikrant said how knowledge is power and how one should study to gain knowledge primarily, while actress Bhumi Pednekar shared that proper sleep is essential for better focus and also mentioned how it helps her concentrate on work.
हमारे टाइम पे ऐसी बातें थी नहीं और ख़ास तौर पे जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैं, ये जो इनिशिएटिव उन्होंने शुरू किया है, यू गाइज आर वेरी लकी टू हैव परीक्षा पे चर्चा, क्योंकि हमारे टाइम पे ऐसा कुछ था नहीं। सिर्फ पास होने के लिए नहीं पढ़ना है, ज्ञान प्राप्त करने के लिए पढ़ना है। और जैसे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी कहते हैं कि नॉलेज इज़ पावर, उससे बड़ी ताकत कोई चीज़ नहीं है, तो ये सच है।
किताब एग्जाम वॉरियर्स में कही है कि स्लीप इज़ अ वेपन, शार्पन इट। जब मैं छोटी थी तब मुझे लगता था नहीं, मुझे लेट तक जागना है, मुझे बस मन ही नहीं करता था सोने का। तो अभी जब मैं शूटिंग करती हूँ, जैसे ही लंच ब्रेक होता है, मैं जल्दी 15 मिनट में अपना खाना खा लेती हूँ और कम से कम आधे घंटे सोती हूँ, क्योंकि वो आधे घंटे की नींद मुझे 8 घंटे का बहुत फोकस्ड काम देगा।
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Sunday held wide-ranging discussions with his Omani counterpart Badr Al-Busaidi on bilateral cooperation in trade, investment and energy security. In a post on X, Minister Jaishankar said he was delighted to meet FM Badr Al-Busaidi and appreciated his personal efforts in successfully hosting the 8th Indian Ocean Conference. So glad we could jointly release the logo celebrating the 70th anniversary of our diplomatic relations. Also jointly released a book, Mandvi to Muscat, Indian Community and the Shared History of India and Oman. EAM Jaishankar held a warm conversation with Brunei FM, and the minister followed up on PM Narendra Modi's September 2024 Brunei visit outcomes, appreciate his insights on the region and support for India-ASEAN partnership. The 8th Indian Ocean Conference is being organized by India Foundation in association with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Oman on February 16-17 in Oman's Muscat. The theme for this year of conference is Voyages to New Horizons of Maritime Partnership. Delivering the keynote address at the conference, EAM Jaishankar said the West Asia conflict has resulted in a serious disruption of global shipping.
In the Middle East or West Asia, there is a serious conflict underway with the potential for further escalation and complication. At the same time, long-standing issues are being revisited, sometimes with a radically different approach. Its maritime consequence is visible in a serious disruption of global shipping with considerable cost to all our countries.
Highlighting deeper tensions witnessed in the Indo-Pacific, EAM Jaishankar stated that the scenario is intrinsically maritime in nature.
The Indo-Pacific has been witnessing deeper tensions and sharper contestations. The scenario is intrinsically maritime in nature, involving respect for and observance of international law. There are other concerns, some related, some autonomous. Stronger assertions of interest is one issue, concerns about unilateral changes to the status quo another.
The Railways on Sunday announced that a Principal Chief Commercial Manager and Principal Chief Security Commissioner will be part of the inquiry committee constituted to probe the stampede-like situation at the New Delhi railway station on Saturday. The committee, which has commenced its inquiry, gave orders to secure all video footages of the New Delhi railway station. Delhi police have also launched an investigation into the incident, saying it will analyze CCTV footage to determine the sequence of events before the chaos erupted. Meanwhile, the number of deceased at the last night incident has gone up to 18. President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi condoled the loss of lives. President Draupadi Murmu condoled the loss of lives in incident. Expressing grief on X, she wrote, and I quote, "Deeply anguished to know about the loss of lives in a stampede at New Delhi railway station. I extend my heartfelt condolences to bereaved families and pray for speedy recovery of those injured." Unquote. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed grief over the incident. Posting on X, he wrote, and I quote, "Distressed by the stampede at New Delhi railway station, my thoughts are with all those who have lost their loved ones. I pray that the injured have a speedy recovery. The authorities are assisting all those who have been affected by this stampede." Unquote. Minister for Railways Ashwini Vaishnav took cognizance of the incident and sharing the information on X. He wrote, and I quote, "Deeply saddened by the unfortunate stampede that occurred at New Delhi railway station. My prayers are with all those who have lost their loved ones. The entire team is working to assist all those who have been affected by this tragic incident. High-level inquiry ordered. 4 special trains to evacuate this unprecedented sudden rush at New Delhi and DLS. In fact, the rush has now reduced." Unquote. Let's take a look at other stories making news. The Indian Coast Guard ship Shur, which is an offshore patrol vessel, made a port call at Abu Dhabi, UAE on Saturday. The ship is on a goodwill visit to Abu Dhabi, UAE from February 15 to 21st. The visit underscored the strategic importance of the Gulf region for India's maritime interests and aligns with India's Sagar policy. A nature and bird festival walkathon was organized in Uttar Pradesh's Lucknow to promote biodiversity conservation and environmental awareness. This initiative aimed at raising awareness about bird conservation. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Mohan Yadav inaugurated 200-meter Rudra Sagar Setu bridge in Ujjain, located near the Mahakal Lok corridor. All right, let's take you across straight to Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. And the Bharat Tex 2025 is going on, and you can see on your screen India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi visiting the exhibition at Bharat Tex 2025. Bharat Tex platform is the textile industry's largest and in fact most comprehensive event, comprising a mega expo spread across 2 venues and showcasing the entire textile ecosystem. We are getting you the visuals from Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, where Bharat Tex 2025 is going on, and you can see on your screens Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting the exhibition, and a delegation is in fact explaining Prime Minister Narendra Modi about this wonderful exhibition that has been set up at Bharat Mandapam in the heart of New Delhi. And you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi here on your screens. For all those viewers who have just tuned in to DD India, we are getting you the visuals from Bharat Mandapam from Bharat Tex 2025, a mega global event being held from February 14 to 17 at Bharat Mandapam. It's unique because it brings together the entire textile value chain from raw materials to finished products, including accessories, under one single roof. And here you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in fact, is touching those cloths at the exhibition, and the delegation, in fact, the organizers, the delegations, the combined group is interacting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, explaining him about Bharat Tex 2025, explaining him about the products that have been set up, the stalls that have been set up at this exhibition at Bharat. And here you can see, for all those viewers who have just tuned in, the people, the fans who are there already at the exhibition are waving towards Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on your screens for all of viewers who have just tuned in to DD India, the delegations, the delegates, in fact, the organizers, in fact, are explaining to Prime Minister Narendra Modi about the exhibition and the stalls and about specific products, the stalls that have been set up at Bharat Mandapam for Bharat Tex 2025. Remember, Bharat Tex platform is the textile industry's largest and most comprehensive event, comprising a mega expo spread across 2 venues and showcasing the entire textile ecosystem, the biggest event, in fact, when it comes to textiles. And it will also include, in fact, hackathons, based startup pitch fests and innovation fests, tech tanks and design challenges. And it is also expected to attract, in fact, policymakers and global CEOs, over 5,000 exhibitors, 6,000 international buyers from over 120 countries, among various other visitors. This is Bharat Tex 2025. And on your screens is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is there at Bharat Tex 2025, is knowing about the exhibitions, the specific products, the specific stalls that have been set up at Bharat Tex 2025, the biggest event, in fact, when it comes to textiles, a unique one of its kinds events, and where over 5,000 exhibitors are expected to participate, 6,000 international buyers from over 120 countries. This event certainly showcases and highlights the textile industry of India and how it is booming and has boomed over the years. For all our viewers who have just tuned in to DD India, these are the visuals we are getting for you from New Delhi, Bharat Mandapam, where Bharat Tex 2025 is going on, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has reached there, and he is now experiencing, in fact, the exhibition there. He's getting to know about the specific products, the specific stalls, and the organizers, the delegations combined are explaining to Prime Minister Narendra Modi about the products that have been put up at Bharat Tex 2025, or one of its kind event, the biggest, in fact, when it comes to the textile. Also explains volumes, speaks of volumes, in fact, about the fact that how India's textile industry is booming, and it has boomed over the years. It is the event certainly highlights the textile industry and how, in fact, the workers also, who contribute to making from raw to finished products. And in fact, this is a very interesting fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes immense interest when it comes to the textile, and the way it is booming over the past few years and still is pretty much booming is something to watch out for. And here you can see the people who are already at Bharat Mandapam. They are waving at Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They just want to take selfie with India's Prime Minister. And you can also see Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in fact, touching all those cloths and experiencing himself, about the raw to finished product that has been set up at the Bharat Tex 2025. Incredible moment, both for the country and in fact a message which goes out to the world that how India's textile industry is booming.